Welcome back, J2 fam. Know y'all used to our setup that we usually have, but we back home right now for the summer, and sorry for the long process of content. We took us a little break and
Hmm.
just just had time to reflect and all those things, and so now we right back at it, and we promise
Right
y'all we
back
gonna
to it.
have banger content in July. So let's get to it. Uh, Today we have the privilege to have with us today professional ball player, former Grand Valley State player who was first team All GLIAC and Defensive Lineman of the Year, who currently plays for the DC Defenders, who was crowned the XFL Conference Champs, and they was crowned the UFL Champions. He's from Columbus, Ohio. Dennis Johnson. Welcome to the pod,
Pre- Appreciate y'all having me on today, man. Appreciate y'all having me on.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you for
Appreciate
coming
you for
on.
coming on. So
Yo,
yeah, usually the first question we ask, we always know we got football players with us. But what do you like off the field? What do you like to do on the day to day things you're into?
um, I'm a big gym guy. I love to lift. Even outside of like the football workouts. Love music. And recently I just purchased the old school I'm gonna work on this summer. A little old Lincoln.
IO
So
car?
that's yeah.
Okay, okay.
Something I'm venturing into this summer, trying to get back on the road. So yeah, that's why I'm like off the field. I like to have fun and laugh. That's pretty much it.
Okay, this
That's
stuff.
cool.
Who
That's
you?
cool. What kind of music you be listening to?
I listen to everything, man. I listen to everything, man. Mostly rap, R&B.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm an old soul at heart. I like listening to the oldies, man.
I
This is
feel
how
that.
I
I
grew
feel
up.
that.
Yeah, a little Earth, Wind and Fire, a little Isley Brothers,
Okay,
all that,
Yeah.
all that. So
okay.
yeah,
I got a playlist that you would definitely like
for sure, for
for
sure.
sure.
Who would you say your favorite artist?
Man, I grew up listening to Odd Future, man. I probably say like Tyler the Creator. If I had to pick a favorite, I
You
probably
don't hear
probably
that
say
too
Tyler the
often. I feel
Creator.
like.
Yeah. You don't hear that often. I probably say Tyler the Creator,
Ask
but
Jeremiah who his favorite artist is.
who your favorite artist?
They always laugh at me, but I'd be like Kevin Gates.
That's fair, bro. That's you.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Nah,
That's you,
it
right?
be
I get
it
that.
be it be like it be 5 a.m. for football workouts. We waking up to go lift. I'm down the hall. I'm hearing Kevin Gates blasting from my room. I'm like, bro, what's going on?
He trying to get his mind right, man.
Yeah,
Right,
he be
yeah.
trying
I
to get right
remember.
for sure.
Yeah, when we was staying in Casebro, I used to the
Yes.
players and stuff. They used to always hit Kevin Gates. So I was waking up to Kevin Gates because I just like his
Mhm.
the positivity that he
Mhm.
brings now with his
Nah,
music.
For
he smooth
sure.
though. He is.
For
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. So going into college, actually, let's go to high school. So in high school, you played just 1 year of football that I read, and
hmm
just tell us about this story and how did that come about?
Yeah. So I played my junior year, but I was a junior on JV. And really, what it was is I kind of was just chilling on the couch. All my friends played football, and they was like, "You might as well just come out." And I was like, "You know what? You right." Came out. Had a decent junior year. Like didn't see any varsity time. And then senior year, I really put on my mind. I went to play college football. So that summer, me and my dad, we trained all summer. Did a bunch of D line stuff, like running every day. Came into that season and really balled, but I didn't have the understanding of like how important having a good junior season is in high school. So I'm coming in. I had a good season. I think I had a couple sacks, like TFLs. We made it to the playoffs. It was a good season overall. But coming out of that season, like nobody really knew me. So what happened was I started getting recruited by a bunch of small schools in Ohio. I got recruited by Mount Union. I got recruited by let me see what else. Ohio Dominican. A couple other D2s, and at that point, I didn't have any offers. So what me and my dad did, um, we just went on the staff directory of like every college in America, and I just sent out mass DMs. We were sending like mass emails. We were sending like 1,000 emails a day, 100 emails a day, just trying to get somebody. And how I got to Grand Valley was on Twitter. I was following coaches, and I just happened to follow my head coach at the time, Matt Mitchell. He's up at Wisconsin now.
Yeah.
And I followed him, and then I'll never forget. Like 10 minutes later, it was like Matt Mitchell follow you back, And he kind of slid in my DMs for real. Was like, yo, like what's going on with your recruiting? I watched your film. Like, what you got going on? I told him, I was like, I don't got nothing. Like, what's
I ain't got
up?
nothing going on.
Yeah, like what's up? And after that, he put me in contact with my D line coach at that time, Coach Whitlow. He's up in Wisconsin too, coaching D line, and we got to talking. I went up there on a visit. I loved it, and I ended up signing right after that. So that's how I made it up there.
Yeah,
Oh
that's
yeah, that's great. People don't realize how hard that recruiting process be.
Oh
I
yeah.
remember just like I didn't even know like what Twitter was at the time. Like I had never used Twitter my junior year. And I was
Hmm.
talking with my guy brother, he was like, you just gotta get Twitter and start sending your film to coaches. So I was literally in that same process, just following coaches, sending film, just all of that.
yeah.
Um
Yeah, man.
when you went into college, obviously you said you only played 1 to 2 years, 1 year on varsity. Did you feel like you were still like at the same level of all the other players, or did you feel like you had to work a lot harder than they did?
You talking about when I got to college?
Yeah, yeah. Once you actually got there.
I definitely feel like I had to work a little bit harder. I feel like athletically and physically I could compete, but my knowledge of the game and like kind of feel for the game wasn't there as much as other people.
Yeah,
Um, and it took a little adjustment with that for sure. Like even when I got to college, my first 2 years of college, I was on scout. So it was like kind of the same thing of just like I had from my junior year to my sophomore, junior season of college, really like 3 or 4 years of just developing as a football player.
yeah.
And definitely it took a little bit of time for sure.
Yeah. So what do you? I mean, let's stay on that. Just like that's a great story. 2 years on scout team, and now look where you at now. UFL over here winning
Mhm.
UFL championships and stuff like that. Speak on that just to like the people who like tries to like rush the process and want everything now. Like speak on that, and as well as speak on just like your journey into from high school to college. Speak on like to
Mhm.
you going to the D2 level, knowing that you was like better, that you could have went D1, that you had D1 film and size and all that stuff. So speak on
Mhm.
all that.
I think even when I was going through those things, I just tried to stay present. I think it's easy, especially in today's climate. Like you got a lot of guys where where you're at right now, you feel like it's not working out for you, and immediately they want to jump ship. But you start seeing those guys who've been to 4, 5, 6 different schools and they still haven't played, and it's like you know there's lessons that you learn from staying where you're at, going through those tough times, and reflecting on your year, adjusting, and then coming back and trying to be better. Um,
Of
and that's
course.
really just where my mindset was. Especially going into my junior year of high school, coming out of that, I knew I was better than the guys that were in front of me. But you know, sometimes in high school sports, really in all sports, there's like politics involved,
Yeah,
and it wasn't a large enough gap for the coach to be like, okay, we have to put this guy on the field. And that's kind of the mindset that I've had going forward. It was like, even if you feel like you're better than someone that is in your position room or something like that, like you have to make it undeniable, of being like, you're making plays, this, that, all the plays and stuff like that, to where it's not even a decision for the coach to make of it being a toss up. It's like we have to put this guy on the field, and that's kind of the mentality that I developed at that age, and it kind of went with me into college because even those years, my freshman and sophomore year of college, those were like frustrating times because like you get there, the crowd, the girls, you want the glory, you want to be on the field, like oh that's him, what I'm saying, that you stand on the sideline, not even dressed, people don't even know your number, you want to play, so it's really just about I would say really vetting yourself after those years and being like, okay, what things do I need to work on? You know what I'm saying? I need to get better at this, and then addressing them for next year. And then you have no problem getting on that field for sure.
this a bar that you just said, that something that I just learned recently, just going through this college life and athletics and stuff like that. Just like, cause I mean, we all could be in a position where we feel like we the best guy and stuff like that. But like my coach just told me, he was like, what's the difference from a first down and another first down? Like we can put this guy in and he can get the first down, and we could put you in, and you just get the first down as well. So like that's where like the difference and stuff come in at. So that's a
Hmm.
good part.
Yeah, facts. I really like what you said about like taking the decision out of their hands for real. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. Mm. So in your last year of college, y'all went 10-2, and y'all made it to the second round of players playoffs where y'all eventually lost. Could you speak on this season, like what it meant for you and how it was playing throughout that whole season?
Yeah, I think that was probably my favorite year of playing football. I think by that point, that was the first year out of the COVID year. So the team had been together for what, 2 years.
Yeah,
And then when you have all that time with a team, it's just a lot of meshing, as in, the culture is fully established. Everybody's on the same page. Everybody's doing their job, and we really just went out there and had fun every game. And that year, I got voted as a captain, and that was an honor for me because it was voted by my peers. And I really just tried to go out there and just do my job. At
sure,
that point, not trying to go out there and force plays or anything like that. Playing for my guys. And we ended up having a really good year. Definitely very special for me. Like, I wish we could have got it done. We ended up losing to Ferris, who was our rivals, which sucked. But definitely a year I always look back on fondly, and I still, talk to guys I played with from that year every single day. Like, those are my brothers. So yeah, that was a really good year.
for sure. What was that? What was that process like being nominated as captain?
Um, I didn't even know that it was going on. It was kind of a thing where they had gone to everybody in private, and they were like, put three guys down that you think, that could be a leader for this team. And I just show up every day and be myself. If I feel like I see something that somebody needs to work on, I'll tell them. But for my peers to put me down and see me as someone that was a leader, someone that they could look towards to when things are going rough, that really meant a lot to me. And when it came out, I thanked them and everything. And yeah, those are my guys. I still have guys from that team now, like, call me for advice or call me if they, have something they want to get off their mind. So yeah.
For
Yeah,
sure. No,
I
that's
like
cool.
I like the fact that you said be yourself. I mean, it's something that's like looking on to other to other people and like your peers and things like that. That's something that's respectable and something that brings respect as well.
For sure.
So that's it.
Yo,
So coming out of college, you went to the Dream Bowl and you was invited to the New York Giants minicamp. Speak on their experience with the Giants and things you took away from that opportunity.
yeah. So it was crazy because when I was going through this process, that last year of college, I still was finishing my degree. So I remember I came up there, I did my pro day, um, and I was like, there's a couple teams there. I didn't talk to anybody, nothing like that. I didn't know what was gonna go on. And I remember I had to drive to all my classes were online because I was coming out of COVID, but they had one in person class that you had to come to Grand Rapids for. I was living in Columbus, Ohio at the time. Um, and I remember I had to drive all the way up to Grand Rapids for the class. And I'm driving from the class and my phone starts ringing. And I'm like, who is this? I answer and they're like, oh, this is so and so from the Giants. Like, we really like your tape. I'm driving from class. I'm like, bro, this is crazy. They're like, yeah, we talked to your agent. We're this, and that. And I was like, bro, this is nuts. You know what I'm saying? This is
Yeah.
what I always wanted to do. Um, and so we had been talking and stuff like that. But unfortunately, at my pro day, I went and I was killing it. I was doing good. I end up tearing my meniscus at my pro day running my 40. So
Man.
immediately after the pro day, I came back to Columbus, went and got the surgery. It was about a 4-week recovery for the surgery. And that was it was gonna be a week. It was gonna be 5 weeks to when I went to the Giants. And
Man.
I ended up and I rehabbed, did all that stuff, and I got there, and it was dope. Like pulling up to MetLife, getting in the locker room and stuff like that. Um, and I got in there. We did the what's it called? The physical, and I ended up I told the doctor, they're like, oh yeah, we see you had a surgery right here, and I was like, yeah. They were like, go ahead, step in this room for me real quick. We're gonna talk to you. And the guy was basically like, he was like, yeah, man, like you just had this surgery, like we can't, we can't really move forward with this right now. We don't want you to get hurt. It's a liability. And I was like, yeah, I understand. At the time, I said I understand, but really, I was sick, and I ended up, I was on my couch that night, so it really was just like, damn, you were kind of in the building, and then for it to end that way, it was really a lot for me to handle at that time. But I think as I'm older now and I'm reflecting on it, I don't think I was fully ready for that opportunity at that moment.
Right.
So I'm thinking, maybe it was like a right opportunity, wrong time. Like you kind of learn, your lessons from that. But at that time, that was like really tough to go to, and kind of threw me into like a little like downward spiral mentally for a few months. But I can say now, coming out on the other side, like it was probably for the best, for sure, for sure.
No, yeah, because I mean, not a lot of people see that side of football.
Hmm.
They just look at everybody playing on Sundays, rookies getting drafted, players signing contracts. They don't realize like all the ugly stuff that goes down behind the scenes.
Oh
And
yeah.
obviously, that was a big moment for you because I mean, mentally, I like that you talked about how it was mentally because obviously, I mean, you're on the way to class, you get a call from the Giants, you're that's a pretty high, and then to like have the injury. I've been there before with a knee injury, to like go through that
Mhm.
low. So that's big on mental health, and that you spoke about that. What were some things that you did to like, if you don't mind me asking, to like keep yourself present and keep your mind right during these times, during that time?
At that time, not much. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was sick. I was
No,
sick as
I
hell.
feel that. I feel that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was sick as hell. And this is probably something you guys don't know. Um, yeah, I was sick as hell, and I was kind of like in a head state of like, man, like I'm done with football. Like I don't want to play no more. Like this and that. And
That's how it be. That's how it be.
in that time, this is actually crazy. In that time, like I'm sitting on the couch. They when you get cut and something like that, this is something they always say. They're like, stay healthy. They're like, stay healthy. We might call you back. I was not working out. I was sick. I had gained probably like 20 pounds. I'm just chilling on the couch. And at that time, I got a DM on Instagram. Some random dude DM me. He was like, hey man, do you wanna come to England and play football and get your masters? And I was like, shit, like, why not? So I went and that fall, that September, I wasn't getting no calls. I had a call from the USFL. They were trying to get me to play, but by that time I had like a little bit of ego. I was like, man, I'm a I'm an NFL player, man. I ain't gonna play in the USFL. Da 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 da.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I went out there, and for a year I played in England. I played for the University of West of England. Went out there and played there for a year.
Yeah.
You
Ooh,
know,
how was that time out there?
oh man, it was crazy. It
Yeah.
was crazy. That was one of the craziest experiences I've ever had in my life because it kind of for me felt like a football sabbatical. Like
Really?
I
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
I was like, because at that time I was just like, man, I'm done with football, da 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 da, and I got this opportunity to go. I always wanted to travel. I love traveling. Um, the guy messaged me and I was like, sure, why not? I remember it didn't really hit me what I was doing until I took a flight. My flight from Columbus connected to New York, and then it was New York to Copenhagen, Denmark. And it was a red eye. I fell asleep on the flight, and I woke up, and the stewardess is talking to me in what is it? I think it's Dutch. Stewardess is talking to me in Dutch. She's like, no, no, no. I'm like, what am I getting myself into? I'm looking out the window.
Wait, my
Everybody,
understand.
yeah, I'm the only black man on the plane. Nobody else. Everybody else is just that. And it ended up being one of the best experiences I had in my life, man. I went out there in University of West of England, UE Bullets, the best team in England. Um, and when I was out there, I was kind of like a player coach role because all the coaches, like I've been playing, I played college football, play high school, I've been playing football, almost my whole life. I knew more football than them, so it was almost like I'm out here playing, but I'm also like coaching these guys up, and it kind of made me fall in love with the sport again. Um, and it was really a ego check because you go to the juxtaposition of a couple months ago I was in the Giants locker room to when I'm out in England, you got to walk. 30 minutes to practice, carry your pads all the way there. Like,
That's
it's
crazy.
literally the bottoms.
Carry the
So you
pads
gotta
all the way walking?
carry your pads a mile to practice.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? You had to really fall in love with the game, and I did fall in love with the game again. So it was really good, man. It was really good.
So how did that work as far as like the eligibility wise? Is it like it's a total reset going to England?
Yeah, it's a total reset because they're not a part of the NCAA, so it's their own thing. So I was one of, maybe we had 12 to 15 Americans on the team. That's like their whole thing. They give scholarships to Americans so they can win. And we were the only
They
team.
trying to win.
Oh my, we were blowing cast out. We were beating teams like, I remember this one game. We beat a team. I think it was like 116-0. Like, we're going
No,
out
that's
there.
crazy. No, that's
That's
Like,
crazy.
crazy.
because it's like it was crazy. Like, you got me. I, played college football. Like, just got done. Come from the Giants, and I'm going against kids who, like, this is their first year of playing football. Like, it was nuts. And, like,
That's crazy.
some of the film that I have is nuts. Just going out there and playing.
You probably look
But
like Derrick Henry did in high school.
it was nuts. They were handing me the ball. They were
With the
handing me.
little
For
boys.
real?
I had a couple touchdowns. We were doing whatever we wanted.
At D lineman? At D
Yeah,
lineman? That's
yeah, they
tough.
were handing me. Yeah, they were
That's
handing me the ball and everything. People were, because you're automatically better than all those guys. So we had guys who, they might have played, linebacker in college. They're like, I want to play wide receiver, and going out there and dogging them. So it was a
Nah, that's crazy.
great experience, man. We ended up winning the national championship out there. I got a ring for that too, actually.
Right.
Man,
Okay.
Yeah.
you might as well speak on the national championship experience, how that game went, what that was atmosphere was like.
Um. Yeah, that was crazy. So basically, out there, their NCAA is called Bucks,
Okay.
and
Does that
what
stand for
they
something?
I can't remember what it's called, like British
Okay.
something. And how they do their championship, they do their championships all in one week, and it's called Bucks Championship Wednesday. And what it is every single Buck sports has their, it's like the Olympics. So like we were there, I got to see basketball, I got to see like squash, fencing, lacrosse, table tennis, any sport you could think of. I watched their
Wait, pause,
championship.
pause, pause.
Yep.
You said squash?
Squash. It's like indoor tennis against the wall. It's actually kind
Okay.
of lit. It's actually kind of
Okay,
lit. The
okay,
dude,
okay.
That's
No,
crazy.
we
no,
had a dude at our
you keep
school.
going. I was just like squash. I hadn't heard of that.
Yeah, we had a dude at our school who was he was like a top 10 player in the world. And in their off season, they just come and play and get their degree, just in case. But I got to watch squash and all that. So we played Wednesday night, and we played the team Nottingham, and they were actually the only other team with like a decent amount of Americans. So it was
Okay.
like we had to, da da da.
Let me
And
know.
actually, yeah, coming into this game, I had go because I had been the whole time I was over there. I was like training because I wanted to go do a second pro day to let people know like I could still play. So
Right.
the whole time I'm out there training, I had lost. When I got to England, I was what 300. I was big, man. I was like 335. My junior year, I played at 295, so I was a unit. And I got out there, and by the time I left for my pro day, I was in best shape of my life. I was like 292, like jacked, da da da. Been working out. And the week before the championship, I went back to Grant Valley and I did the pro day again. And at the pro day, I talked to one of the 49ers scouts. He was like, "Yeah, man, like you looking good, man. I like this and that." I'm like, "Bet." He gave me his number. So I go back and I'm like, "Hey, man, I don't know if I'm gonna play. Like, I don't want to get hurt. This and that. Like, I got stuff on the horizon possibly." And it was like a big thing. They were like, "No, we need you. Like, come on, play
They're
this and
like,
that."
no, we need you.
Yeah. So I was like, man, I ain't gonna let my dogs down. I ended up playing and went out there, and it was definitely the hardest game we played. Like, I'm out there dicing them up. They're running a quick game. They had a QB who played he played college in America. So he kind of knows how to get around that and da da da.
Yeah.
And we ended up, it was a close game, but we ended up winning the game. And that was amazing, bro, being able to win and feel like, I was a part of something not many people can say that, they were a part of, and I got a ring and we got shirts and all this and this and that. And being able to go out that night with my boys and celebrate, that was a great experience to have. Definitely.
Yeah, this
100%.
That's tough.
that's tough, and that just speaks on your character. Just like how, I mean, you had like opportunities in Horizon, like you said, and you chose to come back and win the
Hmm.
championship with your guys. When you look at the college world these days, like everybody just like dropping out. Like, nah, I don't want to
Yeah.
play no bowl game. Like, I'm finna go to the NFL. And
Hmm.
so, to me, that just
I
speaks
know
on your
people
character.
transferring before the bowl games. Crazy.
Yeah,
I'm saying, bro. It's
that's
crazy.
crazy. It's a whole league in college right now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I just want to shed light on that opportunity that you got in England because I feel like not too many people knew about that. When I was doing some research on you, I was kind of like trying to figure out like what this is. Is this like a pro team? Like, but I seen it say university, so like I guess it's a college. And so like,
Hmm.
just speak on that opportunity. Like if someone was like had that same mentality of you, like, do I want to play football still and things like that. Speak on that opportunity to take advantage of that, not only from a football side, but also education. You went over there and got your master's.
Hmm. I think it's a great opportunity, man. I think, yeah, like you said, not a lot of people know about it. That dude DM me. I was like, sure, and that's just the type of person I am. I'm kind of, I'll just jump into something, like not even do research. I was like, sure, man, got my passport and all that. But as an opportunity as a whole, man, it's a great opportunity as far as educational wise. You get a scholarship, so you're getting you're getting higher education at a discount, as well as from a sports standpoint. Um, Being able to, like, a lot of the guys that I played with didn't have the same background as me. They were just guys who might have played college football, small school guys, D2 guys. One of my good friends, he played football at Quincy University,
Are they in
out
Alabama?
there. Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
Langston.
he's
They in
Quincy
Oh,
University in
oh, Quincy.
in
Yeah, yeah, okay.
yep.
yeah, they
He
in
played at
Alabama.
Quincy. Had a couple. Two of my other roommates played D3, and they were just guys who loved the sport of football and didn't want to be done playing. And I think it's a perfect opportunity for you to get kind of like that victory lap in your sport. Like, I get to play one more year. You get to further your education, and then also you get to travel. Like me, like, I had never been out the country before that. I had never been nowhere, and I literally got my passport for that opportunity. And now I can say I've been to, we went to Spain, Canary Islands. We went to
That's cool.
Hungary. We went to where else did we go? We went to Portugal. Traveling around England, being able to be like you go out there. If you're in London, they get a lot of Americans. We were in Bristol, England, and everybody just wants to know why you're there. Everybody's so nice. It's like you're the foreign. You're
Yeah.
people want to talk to you. People want to be like, what's going on. So that was a cool experience, man. And it's definitely something that I would recommend to anybody who might have gotten done with college and they're like, man, what do I want to do? You know what I'm saying? And I still love playing my sport. I'm still passionate about sports. I think it's a perfect opportunity for someone.
Right. So
Nah,
say
that's
I just graduated from college and I choose to take upon the opportunity. What how does that process look like? How many years of eligibility do you get over there?
So there when I played, they were mostly doing post grad. But really, it's just for as long as it takes for you to finish your degree, because I've had guys who went out there for post grad and it took them 2 years and they got to play for the team for 2 years. And I've also had guys where now they're starting to offer undergrad, which I think is going to become a big thing because with the way the um what's it called, transfer portal is working, these colleges are giving out less scholarships. So you got a bunch of guys who are like, man, I don't know, what my path is going to be. I'm trying to play football. I still love it. You could even go over there and play undergrad and get your degree. And also within that, for anybody who wants to play professional sports, um, a lot of the guys that I play with, they kind of use that as like a leapfrog to play professionally out there. Like, I have friends who played in the German league. They play in the ELF, EFL, one of those, the European League out there that's got teams all over. I have one of my good friends played in I want to say he played in Switzerland. There's a bunch of professional football leagues out there for people who, you know, want to still continue. You can get paid to play football. You know, obviously not the same as playing here in America, but like you're getting paid to play football. You're living in a different country. You get to travel. Like it's an amazing opportunity if you have the time and you're passionate about travel and playing sports. So yeah,
For sure. And I don't want. I just want to throw this in here because I don't want people to miss the lesson that you gave in there. Obviously, you know, life has tough battles and things like that, and there's gonna be hard times. But don't like allow yourself soaking to miss your moment because obviously that's what happened with you. You said you were on the couch, but you got that call and you immediately jumped at it. So don't let all the bad times stop you from experiencing the good times because obviously this became a big blessing in your life and a huge moment for you.
for
One
sure.
thing I wanted to talk about was you said that when you got there, you were one of the people who knew ball the most. So I just want to talk about how that difference was for you coming into college. You were talking about you had only played one, like basically 1 year of varsity football, and your ball knowledge wasn't there. And now you're practically a coach on the team. What was that difference like? Going
I
from
never,
maybe one person who didn't know the most, now you know the most on the team.
yeah, I never thought about it that way. It was I never thought about it that way, but it was I think it was cool because I had just came from having that experience of like being a captain and like being in a leadership role. I was comfortable in that state, and like I said, I always just want to help somebody where I can. So you know, I'm out there playing. These are the guys who are gonna have to play next to me, and I'm watching
Yeah.
their technique. I'm like, bro, you need to do this, you need to
You're
do
like,
that, you know.
yeah, that's not gonna help me out.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm like, you know, you need to do this. Even the old lineman I'm going against, I'm like, you know, I can tell that you're leaning. You know, you're going this way. You need to have your sets like this, and you need to scoot down. You know, and that was kind of the role that me on the D line I took, but really all the other guys that I play with who are Americans, they kind of took on that role too of just, you know, trying to, you know, we understood that, you know, if everybody else is playing good, we're gonna play good, and then also we have this experience. We were just trying to pass it down, and it was really rewarding to see like a guy who, you know, this is their first second. It's just what it is basically is like England. They have so much untapped potential out there, bro. Football wise,
Yeah,
it's a bunch of dudes out there, big as hell. You know what I'm saying? They just don't have the fundamentals. So it was really rewarding to see where guys I had at the beginning of the year, and I'm coaching them up all year to see where they were at now. I got guys when I was there, you know, that was their first or second year playing football to where I got two guys who were on that D line who three guys actually. Um, Two of them are in the German football league and they still hit me up and they'll send me their film and be like, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? And I'll try to help them out. And then one of my guys, Max Parkey, he's actually leading the ELF. I don't know if it's ELF or EFL. He's leading it in sacks right now, going
tough,
crazy.
tough.
So like it's
Yeah,
cool to see, you know, the development over the years of like these dudes, you know, who they had a passion for football, they might have not have had the coaching to see them get better and better and better to now it's like we got guys playing professionally. So it's a great feeling.
for
Right.
sure.
So
And
Treasure, oh,
oh,
go ahead, Jermaine.
and you talked about the differences like in ball there, like you carrying your shoulder pads and stuff for miles. What was the difference like in schooling though? Because I mean, I'm sure it's a little different than it is here in the states. So what was that difference like?
Um, I would say for the most part it was pretty similar. It was pretty similar.
Okay.
It was just really, you know, college in the UK, but I would just say like the aspect of like overcoming, you know, when you get out there, people have a certain perception of what they think Americans are like, just based off of TV. And you can kind of see it when you're in a class and they're like, oh, what do you guys think of this? And I raise my hand and you know, first day of class, I get to talking and people are like, what's going on? Like, you know, what you doing here? And, you know, you meet people and they kind of put you in this box of like, you're American. Like, they think we're all dumb. You know, they think
What?
this and that. And yeah, and you see like just you being yourself is challenging their perception of that, being like, oh, okay, like this guy, this is a normal guy. You know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
feel like
He doesn't just eat hamburgers.
yeah, yeah, he doesn't. Oh my God, the crazy! I get so many crazy questions out there of, you know, people. You'll go out on a night out and then dudes find out you're American. I'm like, oh yeah, what type of music do you listen to? Like, you like Lil Baby? Are you from Los Angeles? Are you from Compton? Are you from there? Like just crazy questions people ask you, and you're like,
You
bruh,
see something?
yeah.
I'm just a normal
I,
guy.
it got to a point though. It got to the point though where like me and my boys, we would just play with them. Like I'd be like, yeah, I'm from Compton, man. You know what I'm saying? We grew up this, you know. I'm walking outside, man. It was rough out there, man. Y'all went there, like, whoa, that's crazy, you know. But yeah, I would say just overcoming the perception that people might have of you. That was pretty much it. But as far as the schooling, it was pretty much the same. I would say.
Yeah.
Right. So going back to the point where you was on the couch and you first received that DM. Speak on what went into your decision to like ultimately go, because I know some people might look at this podcast and they be like, man, this dude crazy. He went to England like by himself like for the opportunity, like he crazy. Like just speak on it, like just like and give like people who might look into that opportunity and be like, it's a good opportunity, but I don't want to go that far.
Yeah, I think at that time I was just kind of just sick, and I was just I was feeling sorry for myself. I was in the mindset of like, I'm done with football, like this and that, being sick, and I kind of just wanted to get away from everything. I think that's looking back at it now. I think that's what it was. I kind of just wanted a way to get away from everything. So when I got that DM, I was just like, this is what I'm doing, and I put my mind to it. Everybody in my life told me I was crazy. My dad was telling my dad was telling me I was crazy. Um, Everyone. My mom was like, what are you doing?" I had a mentor at the time. He was like, because at that time, I was actually getting calls from the UFL. That's how I initially got linked with DC Defenders.
Okay.
Coach Barlow was calling me, and Coach Jeremy Watkins, who was the D line coach at that time, was texting me like, "Hey man, like we see you in the draft. Like we like you a lot. We're gonna take you." And I'm texting him back. I'm like, "Yeah man, I'm in England right now. Like I'm not, I'm not doing that right now. Like I'm in England, but like next year I'll come back and we'll see what happens." And to have even my dad being like, "Man, you're crazy. Like, what are you doing?" But I think it all ultimately ended up working out the way it was supposed to, because I feel like I needed that year to get my mentals right. But not only that, but fall back in love with the sport of football and get back in shape. Because coming out of that, I was in the best shape of my life. So yeah, that's kind of where my head was at that time.
So you talked about your opportunity to come back from playing overseas and play in the U.S. for the DC Defenders. And you talked about how you got linked up with them. What was that? What was that moment? Knowing that you were able to come back to the States, and what were some of the things that you were most excited about playing on that team?
So the story with that, as any coach would ever do, like I had told my coach that I'm in England. I'm like, yeah, I'm in England. I'm not gonna play in the UFL. And then I think he was basically like, man, I'm not messing with this dude. So when I got
This
back,
dude in England.
yeah, this guy's crazy. He's insane. So when I got back to America, I had I didn't have any connection with him, but I knew I still wanted to play football.
Mm,
So what I decided to do was I decided to that summer they were holding those XFL trials all over the country. So they had one in Houston. So I trained for a few weeks, flew down to Houston, and I did. I went out there and performed. I was by far the best player out there. And I just remember after the combine, one of the coaches was there, and I tried to chop it up with him. I was like, "Hey, coach," it was Coach Vernon Dean, who's our DB's coach. I was like, "Hey, Coach Vern, what I'm saying I was, I had connections with Watkins and Coach Barlow, and you guys want to take me like da da da." He kind of, at that moment is the end of the camp. People were trying to come up and talk to the coaches, so he kind of was just like, yeah, 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 yeah,
yeah,
whatever.
yeah. He just gave you the little, yeah, the
Yeah,
rundown.
yeah. He was like, yeah, 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 whatever. And I remember I got back to my hotel and I just cold text Coach Jeremy Watkins and I was like, "Hey man, I'm back in America. Like, I want to play football. Like, I'm in the best shape of my life. I just went out to the combine and I saw Coach Vern and I was the best D lineman there. And he said he called Vern and was like, "Hey man, check his number, see where he's at." And I think I had ran like the fastest 10-yard split or something like that at the combine. He texted me back after that. He was like, "Yeah man, like your numbers look good. Like we're definitely interested." And from that, I got invited to they held a XFL combine in Dallas, up there at Choctaw. So I went back home, trained for a little bit, came back, did the XFL Combine, met with Vaughn, who's our GM, and I met with Coach Barlow there, and they were just like, "Yeah, man, we really like, we really like how you're looking. We really like how you would fit into this defense. We want you." I was like, "Yeah, man, bring me on." And after that, I got picked up in, I think it was called the there was like a little thing where you could claim guys after the draft. I got claimed in that, and then I was with DC, and it was a great feeling being able to say, like, because even going to England, my dad was like, "Man, what are you doing? Like, you could play, and you're wasting your opportunity. Like, it might not be here when you get back." To be able to come out of that and be able to say, like, "Okay, like this opportunity is still here." Like, it felt good to feel justified in that. So,
Yeah. So
Um,
what was you most excited for signing with the UFL? Because I mean, like the UFL is they for people that don't know, the XFL and USFL kind of combined, and now it's one league UFL, and so it's now up and coming and rising with and so what you most excited about that?
I think I was most excited to just be playing competitive ball because going out there and playing England, like, it was fun, but you knew what to expect every time you stepped on the field. Like, these dudes are nowhere near my level on a football level. So I really wanted that feeling of like stepping on a field. Obviously, you back yourself, but like not knowing what this guy is about across from me, the competitive aspect of like, I could get my ass whooped. That could that could happen, and just really being able to have a certified pathway back to what I wanted to do as far as playing in NFL. Being able to know that, like, that's still a possibility. That's something I can work towards. And being able to play on a team and play professionally. Like, I thought it was a dope experience for sure.
I like that. I like that you said like it really drove you that you were like I could really get whooped now. Like that's good. That spirit of competition because
Yeah,
that's what really keep you hungry for real.
for
Knowing that
sure.
there's somebody out there that's just as good.
Hmm.
Um, so obviously, as you were part of the DC Defenders, you guys were able to win your guys' first championship. How did that feel? What was that process like leading up to that game? How you prepared yourself, and what is it like to know that now you're in the history books with the first ever championship?
It's a dope feeling. I don't think I even really had. I didn't think I thought about it like that until we were on the stage and they had all that stuff, and I was like, "Damn, this is really, this is a professional championship, all that stuff." But I would say, this whole year it was just a lot of preparation went into it. I think we had felt a certain type of way with the way last year ended. I think we went 5-6, and the year before that they had went to the championship and they went 10-1. They ended up losing the championship to a team that snuck into the championship, Arlington Renegades. I want to say they won the championship with a record of 5-8 or something like that. It was crazy. So,
Right? That's
yeah.
leaving it
So
in.
a lot of dudes coming into that year, we went 5-6, had the attitude of like, okay, we're those guys. And I think when you have that attitude, sometimes you can kind of let off the gas. And
Yeah.
coming into this year, it was just all gas, no brakes. And with the preparation, like, it's funny that you said that Joe. Me and Joe in the offseason, I stayed in Dallas the whole offseason. Me and Joe in the offseason linking up, doing D line work. You know what I'm saying? It was just really just a, an attitude throughout the team of like, okay, like, this is our goal, this is what we want to do, and we're gonna go out there and achieve it. And we went out there and I think we played really well this season. Obviously, there's ebbs and flows of the season, but ultimately, when it came down to games that we needed to win, we won those games. And I think a lot of it was just guys buying in, wanting to buy in and be a part of something. And with the preparation thing, like, it's a thing where in professional sports, they tell you like you got to know how to practice, and it's a thing where in the league, I've heard stories from my guys who are in the league. It's like, if you go into a practice and you're trying to be a practice hero in the pros, that stuff might get you cut. Like, if you go in there and you get, one of the
Sure.
guys worth, he got $100 million contract, you over there, trying to bust his ass in practice, he end up getting hurt. That'll get you cut. But I think for
I didn't even think
us,
of it like that for
That's
real.
crazy.
oh yeah,
Yeah, I never
oh
thought of
yeah,
that.
oh yeah, it's like,
That's crazy.
they tell you, they're like, you gotta learn how to practice. You can't be doing this and that. But I think where our thing was is like we really went to practice and tried to just whoop each other's ass every single day we were in there talking crazy. You might feel like it was times y'all going off the field. You like, man, is this gonna stay in practice? These guys
We
really,
gonna be cool in the locker room.
yeah. Are these guys gonna throw them in the locker room or like are y'all chilling? But I think having that attitude is what kind of separated us from other teams because even going into the playoffs, by that time you've gone through 10 weeks of football. Your body's banged up, everybody's banged up, and we were hearing things that the other teams that we were playing, they're like, yeah, they're not in pads all week and we're coming out there rolling there on Wednesday practice wearing shells, really throwing down, really getting down. Like, and I think it showed up in the games of, these guys have been doing walkthrough all week. We get out there and the physicality, this is what we were doing 2 days ago. And I think having everybody bought into that, even coming to the championship game, um, we knew what it was with Bryce Perkins. He had won Offensive Player of the Year, MVP of the Year. They had beat us during the regular season. They kind of waxed us actually. I think it was like 36-14, something crazy. Got in our ass.
Man,
And
that's gotta be the best feeling though to get them back though, huh?
Facts.
oh yeah, I remember
Because
after the
every
game.
time after a team beats you bad, you like, man, I wish I could
Yeah,
play them again, but you don't ever really get to.
we were waiting. We
Yeah.
knew. He said because our coach told us in the speech. He was like, "Yeah, we're gonna go down there, whoop their ass, and then we gonna What's crazy about this is crazy. A lot of people don't know this. In the UFL, everybody lives in Dallas, but you fly to the cities for the games,
For
and
real?
you fly on the plane with the team that you're gonna play.
Oh man,
So
crazy.
it's a
That's
thing where
wild.
like it's a thing where like let's say we go out there and we get beat. They got the speaker on their plane. They playing their music like talking
Nah,
crazy.
that's
So
crazy.
we so we
Nah, that's crazy.
so we kind of took it personal because
Yeah,
you
you
know
probably bumping shoulders on the way off the plane.
we we you know we we knew we wanted to get on that plane and play that get back a motherfucker like really
Yeah,
get in
yeah.
like we really like
They could be
wanted to go
sick.
in there and let them know because they were talking crazy. So going to the game, we had that extra motivation. Like these guys whooped us. Like how you going? And we ended up whooping them, and we on the plane telling them like hurry up, man, shoulder pass to the left, helmet to the right, man, turn your shit in, man. Head back to your family, man. Have a good summer, man. Like talking crazy, but that was another motivation to be able to let them know like this is not that like y'all might have won, but we gonna get the last laugh. So
So when y'all was playing the championship and y'all was on the plane together, y'all had the trophies on the plane with them.
yeah, I think the trophy might have been under the plane, but we had our shirts on, we had our hats on, we talking crazy like they sent y'all hats to Africa, they sent y'all
Man, they
shirts
was
to
sick.
Africa, man. Y'all boys get ready for the off season, man. You
I
know what
know
I'm
that.
saying? Like y'all learned a lesson. We back there with the speaker talking crazy stuff like that. But yeah, you got to hear. I went through that of games where we lost, and you got to hear them in the
Yeah.
back of the plane high fiving and stuff like that. You like, man, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that was another aspect of what motivated us for the game and stuff like that. So
Right.
Nah, yeah, that's crazy. As a kind of petty person myself, that warms my heart that y'all were able to play the music and stuff like that. That's tough. But a question I gotta ask because I would assume that you're probably one of the rare people that has won a championship overseas and then came to the UFL and also won a championship. So I really
Mhm.
just want to ask, which ring is nicer?
man, I want to say the UFL ring. I want to
Okay,
say the
okay.
UFL ring. I want to say because of the level of competition it took to get it. You know what I'm saying, and the implications that it had as far as like now I can say I won a professional championship in America. They can't take that away from me. I get a professional ring and stuff like that, and being a part of the beginning of a league, which I think is going to be around for a long time.
Yeah. Facts.
I think that was
Yeah,
huge
no.
for me and my family for sure.
Right.
For sure.
So
I actually have the UK ring close. If you want me to grab that, I can show that to
yeah,
you.
let's see
I
it.
mean,
Let me
I'm
go.
sure the
Hold on.
viewers would
Hold on.
love to see it.
Hold on.
I would
Let me
like to
grab
see
that
it
real
too.
quick.
I ain't gonna lie.
Let me grab it real quick. Hold on. Hold on.
That's
That's
crazy how they
funny.
on the plane together though.
Bruh, on the plane?
I
Hey,
would be
I'm not
petty
gonna
as
lie,
well.
I'm talking crazy. I'm
Facts,
talking
I'd be so
crazy.
petty.
Yeah. And if I lost, ain't no way. I'm gonna have to find my own flight back.
Nah, for
Let me
real.
see. I got it right here. Let me see. The UK ring. Oh yeah, it's icy too. Let me see. Can you see that?
Oh yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, man. The bullets. They
That's tough.
got my name on it, I think. Oh yeah, Johnson 91 right there.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
tough.
Yeah,
tough for
man.
sure. Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, man. But I think the UFL ring is gonna be better for sure.
For
Yeah.
sure.
So
For sure.
so speak on that competition level, not between the different overseas and UFL, but speak on just like the XFL UFL competition level had improved over these years. Because I remember around the time when the XFL first started, I'm looking at the highlights and stuff. I'm like, man, what type of football is this? Like, you see guys just like tripping, not in control of their body, like
Mhm.
plays are horrible. I'm talking about like, man, what is this? And then you watch the highlights from this year, and like it's a major improvement. Like
Oh yeah.
it's some actually nice ball. I remember me and my teammate we was watching it together, and he was like, man, this thing like improved.
I would say that first year I think they just had first year in the league just like sourcing talent that met the criteria of being a pro league. I feel like that first year, there was a little leniency, and then another aspect of it is like you got these guys, maybe like a practice squad guy at the bottom of a roster who, there's an ego that comes with that as well. Of you might have played 2, 3, 4 years in the league, and the phone stops ringing, and you're like, man, I'm better than UFL. I'm better than XFL. I play in the league. This and that. And I think what we had over this past year was just a bunch of guys realize that this is a real opportunity to get back to the NFL. Guys who might have been sitting at home who were overqualified to play in this league, they might have had to have an ego check and be like, man, let me go out here and get this film so I can get back to my dreams. And I think that's what it's been every single year of like, we get more and more of those guys. Like I had 3 guys on my team who won Super Bowls, really, really played in the league. One of my mentors I played with last year, TJ, big dude. He played in the league for 5, 6 years, like 10 year, like does stuff with the NFLPA, just loves the game. So there's it took I think for people to see after that first year, like guys getting opportunities to go back, getting signed in offseason to be like, let me get off this couch and go and like play in this league and try to get back to where I want to be. I think that's really what it was. But I agree, like the talent level from even last year to this year jumped to where it was,
Yeah.
one of the more competitive years, coming into the playoffs. We had 2 teams with the same record. We had, I think, 5 teams under us who were 2 teams under us who were 6-win teams who did make the playoffs. And then under that, we had a couple 4-win teams. So I think it'll only get better. And, yeah, it's just a testament to the UFL and like the good job that they've done with these GMs who are bringing teams in, the good jobs they've done with the coaches who are coaching these players up. Um, Definitely. So,
Right. So you
Um,
mentioned you mentioned mentors 2 times
mhm.
this interview, and so I got to bring up this question just about like you mentioned mentors and how important is that to like have them guys around you to like build you up and be around the good crowds and have those mentors and things like that. Speak on that.
I think it's huge. I think it's huge, especially like anybody out there who, any of your listeners who are in college and they love D2 sports. They might not even see themselves playing professionally, like on a business level, your professional career outside of sports. It's good to find somebody who, you can look at them and be like, okay, I want to be where they're at, or some of the things that they've achieved, I want to achieve, and just really try to pick their brain and say, what does that look like for me now? Like, what type of things would you like to see from me now? Like, what type of things do you see from a football standpoint? For me personally, what type of things do you think that I need to work on? Or, if you want to play football, somebody who knows the business, like, what type of things you know, are going to get me looked at on film and this and that, and really picking their brain because when you get to those moments, it's like you've already been through them because you have people in your ear who have been through those things and can lead you down the right path. I think it's very important for not even sports wise, but just as a man, um, having somebody who, you can model after and be like, help me get to where you're at, I would say.
For sure. And while we're on the lines of giving advice, you've obviously touched on it a lot during this interview because it's a big part of your story. But to the young people listening, maybe the people who are going through those dark times, could you just talk about not knowing your set path and just following the opportunities that present themselves to you?
Oh yeah, but it's tough. It's tough, especially in doing this as far as staying the course, because you could be working out for 4, 5, 6 months out of the year, not knowing like if an opportunity will present itself. You're just working out with the hopes of and in that it can be a struggle of like you know comparison. That's a big thing now for us these days, like being young with social media and stuff like that. You got
Especially with
friends
social
who,
media.
oh yeah, oh yeah, because it becomes an aspect of like you got friends who are, for me personally, like 2, 3, 4, 5 years in their professional career, using their degrees and stuff like that, and you're still out here chasing a dream that you don't even know if it's 100% certain. So it's at times where you got to really like sit back and kind of, realize that like, okay, that's their path. Everybody has their own paths. That's their path. And realize, okay, I'm on my path, and just stay the course. Don't stray away from what you got. If you truly believe in your abilities, you believe in yourself and like what you can accomplish, it's like it doesn't matter what anybody else got going on. Like as long as you wake up every day and all your actions are going towards that goal, like stuff is gonna work out for you. Somebody's gonna see you. Somebody's gonna be like, oh yeah, let's bring this guy in, because if you stray away from that and then you get that call like, hey, we want to work you out, this and that, and you been in your head talking about, oh, man, like this ain't happening, you ain't really been on it, and you get that opportunity, you're not ready, that's something you can regret for the rest of your life. So it's just all about, staying the course, staying ready, and eventually something will work out for you, for sure.
For
Right.
sure.
So the whole reason why we made this platform of J2D2 podcast is to highlight some of the best D2 programs, some of the best D2 players and coaches within D2 to bring a light on D2, because I feel like
Mhm.
many people they feel like maybe they can't make it pro from the Division 2 level. And so just speak on that about how you were able to make it pro at the D2 level and give advice to any D2 athlete that might be looking at this.
Yeah, I think coming out of college, everybody wants to go D1. They're like, I'm D1, I'm D1. So even coming out of high school, people
Everybody
be
do
like,
one in high school.
everybody D1 in high school, bro. Everybody want to go D1. Everybody, some people walk in, they got that ego, like, man, I'm D1, bro. I ain't going D2. But it's like, man, if you're a baller, they're going to find you. It might not be D1, D2, D3, NAIA. If you're a baller, they're going to find you. So it's all about just maximizing your opportunity, I would say, and just going in there and trying to get better every day, you know. And a big thing for me is like, a lot of guys, it's college. You want to go out there and have fun and, do this and do that. But, you know, if your goal is to play professional sports, especially even coming from a D2 level, like you really need to sit back and think about like what you want out of this. Cause some of those actions of like going out and like partying and doing this and doing that, you know what I'm saying, getting drunk every weekend, like those actions don't align with that goal of like playing sports most times. There's guys who are, genetic freaks, the guys who are crazy who can do that stuff, but it's like most likely if you're coming from a D2, like already that you don't have that perception from an outside standpoint. So it's like you need to go out there and really put the work in every single day and really, get locked in and be intentional about your goals and getting better. But like I said, like you go out there and you really like hone in on your craft and you do everything the right way and you're getting better. Like if you're a baller, they will come and find you. That's the one thing that I learned about D2 for sure.
For sure.
Now going back to the UFL. Do you guys like have like a do y'all have like a little committee going on or something like that? Just as far as like the growth of the UFL, because I mean, like you said, it's going to be around a long time, and I just feel like it could be at a point where it can get a major like increase
Yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
I did see that they were looking to add some teams in 2026. What's your
Mm-hmm.
thoughts on that? How that could grow the league?
I think it would be dope. I think it would be dope. I think anybody who's played in the league now, it's kind of like, I'm walking advertisement for the league. Anybody ask me, what I think of the league, like I love it. I thought it was great, and I try to tell people all about it because you meet people, it's still brand new. So I'll meet people and they'll be like, "Oh, what do you do?" And I'm like, "Oh, I play in the UFL." And they're like, "What's that?" Or I had to
Yeah,
explain to them like, "Oh, it's a league like guys trying to make it back to the NFL like professionally." They're like, "Oh, yeah, that's cool." So like you said, like I think it'll only get bigger. And as far as the expansion, I think that'll be dope. I think it's just about picking the right market. I think they hit it out the park with St. Louis being having a team
yeah.
because they were missing when the Rams left and went to Los Angeles, so they get love out there.
No,
I
yeah.
didn't
St.
even
Louis
know
is fiending
until
for a team right now.
no. I'm saying like they we were out there for the championship because we beat the Battle Hogs. We beat the Battle Hogs coming in. We beat them that week before,
Yeah.
and we're out there. We went. I think we went to a steakhouse before the game, and we got people coming up to us talking about, "Hey, good luck this week." Like, what I'm saying? Like, we wish we could have beat y'all. Like, come and take pictures with us. So I think they hit it out of the park putting the Battlehawks in St. Louis because it's like you had a city who was missing the Rams.
Yeah.
They put the Battlehawks there. They get the most fans. They get like 30,000, 40,000 fans packed
No,
in that
yeah.
building.
I got a couple friends
Yeah.
that go to those games. They be
hmm
showing me. It be some good crowds there.
It's lit. So I think it's all about for the UFL picking the right market to put another team. Like I don't know if it'd be a good idea to put the team with another city that has another NFL team or like a city that has a lot of stuff going on. Mid to small market cities to where like you can build a culture around a team, you can build a fan base and get people out there in those seats. I would say so.
For sure.
Well, them all the questions I
Yeah.
had. You got any more, JB?
I think I'm good. You gave a lot of good answers. Answered most of
Appreciate that,
all
bro.
the questions I had. So we for sure appreciate your time coming on with us.
Appreciate that, man. I appreciate y'all, man. I had a lot of fun for sure.
For
Definitely
sure.
appreciate y'all, J2 fan, for tuning in. Make sure y'all subscribe and stay connected, and look out for more great content in the month of July. Let's get it.
And be sure to turn on notifications so you don't miss a video.